recording.
Okay, so I was lucky enough to join the business in July last year, so a bit over 12 months ago. I was aiming for a Ruby bonus, sort of ASAP, but I missed that. I didn't really hit Ruby until I think it was December, so it took me a few months, and then all of a sudden I went to Emerald, and then all of a sudden I went to Diamond. So it was awesome. Sorry, 2 secs. It took a lot of effort, but it was a lot of effort that I put in at night time when the kids were asleep, during the day when the kids were asleep. I worked a lot with my amazing leader, Steph. We did a lot of planning and charting, and basically I knew where I needed to be with Diamond. It was very easy to get to. I just had to get as many, sort of friends I could on board to join the team and become a distributor. And once they saw the excitement that I shared, it was not an issue. A lot of follow-ups and things like that. The last lady that I had joined that boosted me to get to Diamond, she had been watching for quite a few months. So I guess the thing is, as long as you... what would you like? You can watch. Sit down here. The more you plan and map out your future, basically, I found it was the easiest way to get to where I wanted to be. I knew how many boxes I had to fill. I knew how much volume I needed, and I hit a really nice Diamond bonus. So it was awesome. And then once I've reached Diamond, it has just opened up a whole new level of commissions and leadership responsibilities, which I really, really enjoy. It's taken the business to a whole nother level, basically, and it's awesome. It's really, really good. But just don't be afraid to call upon your leaders, because they are there to help you. And I use Steph so much, but I'm sure she wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay, can you just share a little bit of what was going on during maybe the 12 hours that you were going Diamond? Because
it was chaos. So with the 12 hours leading up to me promoting to Diamond, I was admitted into hospital and had to have a emergency unplanned cesarean 4 weeks early. So there was a lot of toing and froing between Steph and I, working out, the final bits and pieces getting to Diamond. And then once we got it, we were both like, done now, we can relax, we've had a baby, job's done.
Yeah, poor Courtney was post having her baby 3 hours, and I'm messaging her things done this or that, or it was madness. But she was in it to win it. She was not gonna not let that Diamond happen. And if she can be 2 hours post C-section going Diamond and making, obviously she had put in work that whole month, and she had put the work in beforehand, but she had no idea. It wasn't she was planning her baby 4 weeks early. She was not ready for that. She thought she still had, plenty of time to finish things up for her Diamond promotion. So anyway, the fact that she could kind of pull that all together right at the very end of the month, mid having a baby, just shows her commitment, and just also, should inspire you guys that, you can all do this. But she had put in a lot of work ahead of time too. So thanks for sharing your story, Courtney.
Yeah, that was awesome. And congratulations. We're so excited. And that's just the beginning. I know that you're getting really close to double. That's awesome. Erin, things look really quiet where you're at too. And I know that you're kind of baby could wake up at any second. Is this a good time for you to share a little bit about how you went Diamond? You have to unmute yourself.
That's what I was saying. I was saying, yeah, it's a little iffy right now, but I can start. Yeah.
Okay.
So my quick story is let's see. I've been working for so long and trying for so long to go diamond. And I think that part of the reason that I did was all the work that I put in beforehand, coupled with the encouragement of this team. I didn't get to hear all of Courtney's stories, so I apologize if I just jumped on the call. I was running down the stairs from putting the babies down. So I apologize if I repeat anything or anything. You guys will have to let me know what all you want to hear from my story. But all the work, I guess, was about messaging. I messaged people every day. I had a lot of support from you, Shanna, and Stephanie telling me like behind the scenes what to do. I would get on the calls. I would blitz. I wore my shirt everywhere. I talked about it nonstop. I had a lot of excitement. I still do. A lot of charting, a lot of not making excuses. And I guess, I mean, I don't really know what all to say except for that it was something that I really wanted and I was going to get it. I mean, I posted something today that basically said, you know, the winners in life look at, you know, winning, and the losers look at the people, like other people around them all the time. But like, I guess what I mean by that is like, I just was like, I'm going to do this. And every time that I would talk to Stephanie and I would be like, I'm feeling like I might not make it to diamond, she'd be like, well, then you're not going to. Like, you have to believe you are. You have to work harder. You have to do what it takes, you know? And I really think my personality type just needed that encouragement. So I guess like the leadership and all the hard work is just what got me there. And then I never stopped. So like today even, I'm just getting up. I get up every day at 5 a.m. and I put in my hour because my babies get up at 6 and I want to be present for them. And I was just thinking today how blessed I am to be able to make this income and do this, because like I was sitting there watching my kids playing while I was talking to people on the phone and I was messaging and I was like, this is like literally what we asked for. Like, I'm home with my babies. I'm here for them when they just fell down. And I mean, this is the dream. I mean, this is why I work so hard. So, I mean, is that what you wanted me? That's kind of a quick snapshot of my story. So
I think that that's great. If you could give people who are going for that right now one tip, and you can think about it if you don't have one right now, but like,
okay. No, I mean, I think right now the one tip I have is like, and this makes a difference to me today. And the one thing I have to repeat to myself, like when I have that hour during the day, if I don't make myself be productively active, then it's just like void. I mean, so what I mean by that is like when I get on Facebook in the morning at 5 a.m., I could easily let myself just get caught up in like, you know, scrolling and like just doing things that aren't productive, you know? And then I could be like, well, I worked it for an hour because, you know, I did like little things, or maybe but like instead I'm like, this has to be a very productive hour. Like I have to have a goal. Like I go in it with a goal now. Like I just started this week. Like I will, and I did it on a certain level when I was going diamond. So like this week, my goal was I'm going to message 50 people a day. And so when I get on there in the morning, I'm like, I will message 50 people a day, you know, and I have to make it productive. I can't get sucked into non-activity. So that's what I guess my tip would be. Have a goal, attain it, and be productive.
Awesome. Good work. Okay, thank you.
Really quick, something that was really fun, like when Erin was really pushing hard for diamond, and we still do it sometimes, but like during kind of the month or two leading up to her going diamond and she was just pushing so hard, we did kind of working play dates several times, and that was really fun too, where and so, you know, you can do that with teammates. It's great, but I know like I loved it. We kind of fed off of each other really well. We would, you know, just sit down, kind of force each other to work, and we could answer each other's questions. And so that was really fun too, like just setting those times where we knew we were going to keep each other accountable to be working. And like the kids were basically, happy because they were all playing together. But that was something too. So if you are doing this with friends, if you're not yet, get some friends on board and like do that with them. But I felt like that was really helpful too, kind of just to keep everybody like, I don't know. It helped me. Hopefully it helped Erin too. But
yes,
just like saying like encouraged and excited and like and keeping each other accountable, to put in those messages and just, get our work in.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right. So then we have Serena and Emily. Either one of you guys want to go now? Emily?
I can go.
Okay, Serena. Awesome.
Okay. Well, it feels like forever ago when I went diamond, but it really wasn't that long ago. So I was really trying to like brainstorm and, really think back then, like what was I doing? Because I went diamond in 6 months, right? So, I didn't waste too much time when I got my starter kit talking to people, even though I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just started talking to people. I was like, hey, guess what I'm doing? Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but this is what I'm doing. And, that just kind of got me out of my comfort zone, talking about the products and stuff like that. So I remember just like talking to anyone and everyone about the product and the business opportunity. That was like a key thing, I think, is that I always mentioned the business opportunity when I was talking about the products. Because I just kind of thought, well, who am I to judge, right? I don't know if they might be interested in, jumping in with this with me or not. I mean, I figured, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. I could bring some people with me that doesn't know what they're doing. If we do it together, then we'll know what we're doing. So, and of course it's the same thing, the first people you usually talk to are the people that are closest to you. So, my mom became a customer first, and then I talked her into becoming a distributor. So she was my first distributor, and then I had a couple of other friends that were my distributor. And a high school friend became a distributor, like out of nowhere. So, I mean, it was just a random thing. She was like, what are you doing? I want in. I'm like, okay. And I hadn't talked to her in since high school, literally. And that's just from posting on Facebook. She was like, what are you doing? So, and I think I just, I put my feet on the ground and I opened my mouth and I talked to everyone I came in contact with. And that's pretty much how I set up my my beginning kind of foundation. And then I was definitely in contact with Stephanie and Shanna and Brienne a lot. Because I think at that time, Brienne was going for a big promotion too. So we were on these little mini group chats and stuff together. We're all like talking about how we're pushing. It's kind of like the push group that we're going through right now. It was like that. I was getting lots of information, staying in contact with, uplines, and I had sidelines that I was talking to as well about, what are you doing to get what are you doing to get diamond? And and the timing was perfect for me because conference was in January and I went diamond in March. So when I went to conference, I was in go mode for sure. Like I had I think maybe I was really close to emerald when I went to conference. So what I really started to do when I went to conference is I started to pour into my teammates that were going for promotions too. So helping them helps you promote, and they get to promote and you get to promote. So that's something that I did is, I was in constant contact with them, you need 2 more distributors. You've got, your volume is at, 300, what are we going to do? Are we going to have a party? Let's have an online party. Let's get some people, how many people are you talking to? I mean, just, contacting them and talking to them often and knowing what their plan was really helped me to know what my plan was going to be, because you can't get to diamond without your teammates underneath you. You can't. You just can't do it. So you need the help of your team, getting there too. And it's a win-win for everybody, which is why I love this business, because helping someone else is also helping you. And like I said, just communicating with your upline and your roller, and, even if you have to get a sideline sister involved. And that could be somebody else that's kind of on your team, but not directly under you, if that makes sense, right? It's like all of us right here talking, we're all on the same team. We're all on the same team, but we're sidelines, okay? So if you really connect with some other person and you're at the same level, then reach out to them, and you guys can bounce back and forth off of each other and get some good ideas. That's the best way is to find out what somebody else is doing. It just gives you lots of great ideas. And I'll have to probably piggyback off of what Erin said, is making a to-do list, and definitely income producing activities. So, every day before you go to bed, know what you're going to do tomorrow. I mean, you have to know ahead of time. And when you're going diamond, I mean, you have your charts for all of your rubies, right? And you're talking to your rubies and you're saying, okay, well, we're not just going to look at your ruby chart. We're also going to look at your emerald chart. So you're always looking at one chart ahead. I mean, if your goal is diamond, you really are looking at your double diamond chart. You know what I'm saying? But it just kind of, gives you a vision and gives you a look into the future, and it kind of gives you a roadmap on which direction you want to go. So that's my tip.
Awesome. And it does seem like forever ago. I
Yes.
feel like that too for me. I mean, oh my heavens, it feels like forever ago. Okay. So Emily or Stephanie? Which one? I guess. Emily? Okay.
Okay. Mine is similar to what Serena was saying. I went diamond after conference, and I double promoted from ruby to diamond when I went. And I was looking back at my steps to success, and January and February were very, very different in my business than the months prior to that. I was still working before that, but conference really kicked me in the butt. And I had 7 or 8 customers both of those months, which was a big jump from before that. And so the timing was really good because I had this boost in volume from all these customers. And so it was just making sense and things were filling in. But I think the tip that I would give is if you have a husband or a significant other, that's a conversation that we were having multiple times, but especially in January after conference when it was okay, this is possible. I'm close enough that it's something I can work toward. So we sat down and said, okay, do we want to push for this? And if so, what does that look like for the next couple months for our family? And so we talked about, okay, I'm going to need this time in the evenings after the kids go to bed. I'm going to need, you to, I mean, he cooks dinner most of the time, but he made sure that if he was going to run late, he was still going to kind of find a way to make it happen. I don't know. It was just little sacrifices that we made together that we decided. And so he, if he knew I needed to work, then he'd grab the laundry from me and fold it instead of me continuing to do it. And he would help put the kids to bed. And so I could get to work faster and get on phone calls with people. And so that was something where we knew it was coming up. So we decided together what we would sacrifice and what we would plan together as a family, so that I had the time I needed to talk to people. And I also was thinking back too that one of the distributors I signed that month, I got her on the phone, and I do a lot on social media, and I try to get people on the phone, but, people are unsure about that if you're just meeting them and you don't know them that well. So, it was somebody I got on the phone, they heard my excitement, they jumped on board. But I do remember it was that committing the time, knowing it was a goal that I wanted and knowing that it would need a little bit more time to go faster. And so, like everybody else has said, it's that making a plan, knowing exactly what you needed on your chart, where, knowing the next 5 spots that you need to put a distributor or a customer when you sign them up. And that changes, every time you sign somebody up, you have to like look at the plan and see if it changes or not. But you have to know, okay, here's my first 3 spots. If I sign up somebody today, where I'm going to place them. So for me, it was that just knowing that I was going to put extra time in that month or those 2 months, and making a plan with my family. So, and I have kids up, so I got to go.
That was a great point. Definitely communicate, make it something that your family is participating in. That's awesome. Okay, so Stephanie, do you want to go or do you want me to go? What do you want?
I can go. Okay, so it feels like a really long time ago for me too. And I was trying to think back, like what exactly was going on and what it all entailed. So when I went diamond in, like actually on New Year's Eve, 2 years ago, in 2014, New Year's Eve, so almost 2 years ago. And so it was just a crazy time of year, right? Because it was like Christmas time, it was holidays, it was insanity. And I know, so they did bring back a bonus then. And so that's what really pushed me. I think these bonuses light a fire under us where, my business was growing, like I was working my business. But bonuses like this, like when of course the dog's going to start barking. When they bring bonuses like this around, like you guys have this $5,000 bonus on the table, I think it just really lights a fire and like makes you realize, A, like how close you are, like it's within reach, and B, like how much you want it. Like you want what that would do for your family, just, how life-changing that money could be. And so when they announced bonuses, I think, it was like in November when they announced it, I was like, I'm going for it. Like I wasn't, so I was within reach, but that being said, when I was first looking at it and, Brianne was saying like, okay, what's your number? Like, how far away are you? I was, I know I needed more than 10, I think, like to go diamond, or I was, so looking just at my charts and looking at everything, I remember just being overwhelmed by kind of how far away I was, but at the same time, just knowing I could do it. Like I knew I could do it. I knew it was within reach. I knew like this business is all about just like making it happen, talking to people. And I literally, like for all of November, and I'm such an introvert, you guys, for all of November, I think I scheduled like a play date or a coffee date or something every single day. And if I was not at a play date or a coffee date, I was like at library story time or open gym at the rec center or somewhere that there would be other people around. And like I said, I'm super introverted. So for me, that was really exhausting. That was out of my comfort zone. I don't like being out like every single day and being overscheduled and having tons of stuff going on. But at the same time, I had to work within what was possible for me and my family. And I had 3 very small children. At that time, I had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 6-month-old. And, it was, like I couldn't, my life with them and being a mommy couldn't stop. So I knew I was going to have to be scheduling things. And I had to do it within the realm of what I could do. So going to library story time or scheduling play dates was a way that was kind of a win-win, that I could, be a good mom, take my kids to these fun activities, but I could also put myself out there, and while my kids were playing at open gym, kind of go talk to some moms I'd never met before, or meet up with a mom, like an old friend from high school or something. And so I literally did that for an entire month. And I'd already been doing that a little bit in the fall, like right before that too. But like as soon as they announced bonuses, I just filled my schedule with meetings, play dates. And these were all like old college friends, high school friends, neighbors, like anybody I could think of that I had any kind of connection to, even people I hadn't spoken to in years. And I just was like, we should totally hang out sometime. I'd love to see you, our kids meet, whatever. and we made it happen. Like I just, you know, found a time in the schedule and made it happen. So I think around that same time too was that I, you know, as I was kind of waiting for some of those people to say yes, you know, for me, I feel like I feel like I can talk about this business with anybody, like in my warm market, my friends, family. I don't have too much of like a chicken list. I've basically talked to everybody, but I don't always feel like I can kind of put the pressure on them. Like I don't want to ever hurt their feelings or make them feel like, you know, and so I always, you know, bring it up to them, but then I sort of let them think about it for a while. And so I sort of found myself in a position like at the end of November, right around Thanksgiving, I believe, where I kind of was like, okay, so I have all these people, like old friends from high school, college, whatever, who are like thinking about joining, but I don't want to put like more. I've already checked in with them a few times. I don't want to like be awkward and like pressure them into this, but I'm on a timeline, right? They're not really on a timeline to join yet, but I was on a timeline for this bonus. And so that was really when I started expanding outside of my warm market too. And I wish I would have done it sooner because I felt like I sort of had to like scramble and all of a sudden like start working Facebook, just meeting strangers and Instagram and doing anything I could to get outside of my warm market so that, you know, as I met those people, I had more people to follow up with and generate new leads. And then, you know, what was nice was then I could take any of the feeling of pressure I had of like putting pressure on my friends and family off, and I could focus on some of these new leads. And then, you know, towards the end of December, I kind of came back around, or, you know, then I could give them a few weeks off and then come back around and follow up with them later. And during that time, I had all these new people I was talking to that I was just meeting off of social media and stuff. I totally agree with Emily that getting people on the phone was one of the things that I, again, got out of my comfort zone and did during those times. I specifically can remember like having my kids watching like those Disney, darn, dog's barking. Anyway, these like little videos on YouTube. And I'd be like, you know, had, you know, my little like toddlers like watching this like baby Einstein like videos on YouTube while I was talking to these potential strangers that I'd never met before, but potentials I'd met on social media about ordering wraps or about joining and all that stuff. And getting them on the phone was huge, and placing the orders through the phone was huge. Like getting them on the phone and saying, let me place the order for you, and doing it from my computer really helped to like expedite things. And I will say that like, so if you can kind of tell from my story, I was basically putting in tons of time, you know, making it a priority, just knowing my husband knew like this is something I was really pushing for. So he helped in the evenings, the weekends, if we had to do an online party, whatever. And I did what I could around my crazy, you know, mommy schedule. But like we've said over and over again, like you have to know your chart, you have to know where you're headed, you have to know, I think I had it charted out like 3 or 4 different ways because I had several people kind of on my team who were kind of rising, like their businesses were growing too. So I kind of was just assessing at any given moment which direction like my chart would go and where to build or grow my team. And so you kind of just really have to know your chart inside and out and every way that can get you to diamond, and then work really hard with those people. I had one other thing. Oh, and I will say like on Christmas, I remember, I don't know if Erin's still on the call. I remember sitting like in the basement at my in-laws on Christmas Day. And I think Erin was like, oh, so are you going diamond? Are you going to get this bonus? And I like literally looked at her and was like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I have no idea. I can't even remember if I was completely, like my chart was filled in at that point, but I definitely didn't have all the volume there. And I was so unsure. And that was that was 1 week before the end of the month. So I just want you guys to like never give up, never stop pushing for it. Always believe in yourself, because if I would have kind of let the holidays slow me down, if I would have let on Christmas, I remember thinking, you know, I don't think I'm going to get the bonus. Like, I'm really not sure. And if I would have just kind of given up at that point, how sad would that have been? But that last week in December was incredible. I think they brought back like a BOGO deal or something. It just was awesome. Like everything fell into place, like everything, it just was meant to be, but we were working our tails off. Like I remember talking to a lot of you on this call, like for hours, like those last week, you know, those last few days of the month, like getting in orders and, you know, there was so much going on. And I did not promote until like 1 minute before midnight. Like it almost didn't go through. Now I think like I was crazy. I wish someone would have told me to not wait until the last second because like eSuite starts going down and things get crazy. It was literally 11:59 on New Year's Eve when I promoted, and I was standing there like in my kitchen, like shaking. My husband's like, "Are you gonna have a seizure?" Like I was like freaking out because it like wasn't updating. It didn't go through.
Months to be launched. They grow up too fast. My first baby going to 18 in November.
Oh, so I think somebody did.
Hello, people.
So anyway, so that's my story. Don't give up. Know your roadmap, and do everything in your power that you can within the scope of like what your life looks like in this moment, and it can totally happen. So, sorry if that was long.
No, that was awesome. And I remember that. Well, I mean, obviously I remember it, but your story always makes me, I mean, there is no slow season. Like everybody always thinks like, okay, well, you know, December is like, you just can't promote or whatever. And like people promote every single month with this. So you literally can do it whenever you just decide that you want it bad enough to do it, really. Somebody just asked when you joined. Didn't you join like February of that year, I want to say? Because I went diamond in March and you were on my diamond chart. So
I joined the middle, like I joined the second week of March. I think it was like the 19th of March.
Okay, I think you were the last.
I think I was on your double diamond. I wasn't on your diamond.
No, you were the last person I needed for my ruby in my diamond. I remember you were on my, oh wait. Oh no, you're right. You're right. You were the person I signed right after that. Okay, yeah. Because you're not diamond coded to me, so that would make sense, obviously. Okay, so I guess it's my turn, right? Okay, so hold on, I'm gonna read these. Yeah, okay, we'll talk about maintaining. I'm gonna just tell a little bit about you know, how I went diamond, and then we can talk about maintaining. And open it up for questions. So, I started 3 years ago in May. Yeah, in May. So I went diamond in 10 months, and my story is like so similar to what you guys have already heard. Like I decided randomly, like Brienne was my enroller, and she thought I was not crazy, but she had never even been to conference. And so she thought it was kind of weird that I was wanting to go to conference, and I was, I think I had just promoted to Ruby whenever I decided to go. But it just really felt like something I needed to do. Like I just really felt it on my heart. I wanted to get to conference. I wanted to see what it was. And I wanted that for my business. So I decided to go ahead and go. And my business was definitely growing, but I was still really just doing my 15 minutes a day. I mean, I was doing something every day, I promise you, every single day. And I really wanted this. And I was making my, you know, I think at the time I was making like $600 a month or something, or maybe it was like 800 or something. Because I was Ruby, but I was kind of like past Ruby, you know, I was growing. And yeah, conference definitely helped me. So plugging in, just getting super excited, but then obviously they announced bonuses too. And so that's why, like everybody else has said, like this month is so exciting because they honestly don't do this. This has never happened before. They don't have this bonus. This is a brand new bonus that they just decided to come out with right now. And so you literally have, you know, if you're prepared and if you're prepared to go the extra mile, like it's yours. So that year, that was kind of what happened. I mean, they said that we had until March 31st. I was nowhere close, not even close. And I was also still very much like, I don't know, it was just, I was still kind of getting out of my comfort zone, I guess. I was still, you know, trying to meet people, trying to really talk to people, kind of getting up the gumption to do that. But so whenever conference happened, I mean, I just kind of put fear aside and for those 2 months. And it was awesome because what that showed me was that fear didn't have to rule my life. You know, like I was kind of afraid to talk to people. I was afraid to, you know, have too many people host parties for me and things like that. But when that happened, I asked everybody to host a party for me. I remember I drove several like road trips, a couple of them with my mom because she was my Ruby going diamond. And so her and I, we drove to Springfield, which was, let me see, 3 hours. No, her and I drove to Wichita, which was 3 hours away. We drove to Arkansas, which was 4 hours away. I drove to Springfield that spring to help with a party. And I just was like going all the time, and in a really good way though. It was a really just fun time, but it was like I had a goal. I knew what I wanted. I knew it was possible. I knew that like other people were, you know, like we were all working together to meet this goal. You know, my Emerald, she was working to go Emerald. She was actually working to go Diamond, which was awesome. I had a couple new girls, you know, under my Ruby, and we were launching them, and we were asking, you know, our family to throw parties for us and things like that. And then Brianne and I, like we've kind of been talking with, it's like I was working really closely with her too. I was talking to her every day, and same with Stephanie. I remember when Stephanie went Diamond, I think we talked almost every single day. And it wasn't even necessarily anything but just keeping accountable, running ideas past each other, making sure that she was on the right path, you know, like the easiest path. Make sure that you have that support. You know, you don't have to be doing this by yourself. That's why we're here. We're all a team. So find somebody that you can have that be your accountability partner. And I actually remember also that those couple months when we were really pushing, we did have accountability partners. I think mine was Rachel Hunter from our sideline. So it was just a sideline, and we were all in a push group, kind of like what you guys are in. I think it was like Dash to Diamond. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but and we all got accountability partners. And that, I mean, we picked them out ourselves, and we just found somebody that was going for the same thing that we were, and that wanted it just as bad as we did. And we kept each other accountable. We checked in with each other. And so that's what your sponsor can do, or you can get a sideline. And that really helped me, just knowing, and that still to this day really helps me. You know, pushing for presidential is the same way, where it's like I like to see the girls that I went Diamond with, they're also pushing. And so it's like we're still all kind of doing this together. So if you find that person now, then it's just that much more fun when you get just keep growing with them in the company. But really, parties, I feel like parties are why I got to Diamond, for sure. I mean, I did parties anywhere and everywhere. I was at every single one of my downlines parties. I was launching every single one of my new distributors at least once, if not twice. I was asking people to do parties for me. If like Brianne was doing a party, I invited people to it. Just every single opportunity that I had. I also remember coming back from conference, and we did this wrap night too. We just were trying to think outside of the box. So we got this salon, and it was just closed one night a week or something like that, and we would just invite people to it. And so we got a few customers like that too, and that was with sidelines. That was not just me and my downline. That was with some sidelines that I had met at conference. And we all came back, and that was our big plan. And so we did that for at least a month or two, where we would just meet up every week, and we would go over to the party pad and do big wrap parties together. So that was really fun. Yeah, and so then the month of, just real quick, TreeViewer is your best friend. If you haven't found that yet, your charting tool is your TreeViewer. That is how, like, get to know that. That's kind of your most, the easiest way that you can sit there with your chart and keep everything up to date. And what I did And what I still do if I'm promoting is I sit there with sticky notes, and I have a sticky note of each person on my chart, their volume, and what their volume needs to be, obviously, is 400. And so then you have like literally like what has already run for the month, and then you're check marking it off, because what am I trying to say? Card declines. Like you have to check, like you are responsible for all of that month, every time, but like that month especially, like you have to cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and literally know down to the T, I need a 30 BB customer there. You know, like, okay, I still need a 30 BB customer in this box, and then try to figure out who's going to get that. Like, is that person going to get that? Are you going to get that? Is somebody above them going to get that? And I even started assigning, you know, like I would tell people, you know, like if you can do, you know, working together basically. You know, if you can host a party and get a couple customers, I'll host a party, I'll get a couple customers, and we're all working together to make sure that everybody gets that promotion that they're going for. So those are the things that I remember, but honestly, I feel like I lived on TreeViewer, and I feel like I lived at parties like that month, those couple of months. And then be prepared to go double, okay? Because that's what happened with me. It wasn't like I was looking to necessarily go double, but double can be very natural for you. So don't slow down, because double could be right around the corner. Okay, my girl who was going Emerald, she was right on the cusp of going Diamond, and then I signed up Stephanie, like she said, like right after I went Diamond, and she went off running, and so she became Ruby pretty easily, really fast. And then I had another girl, I don't know if she's on here, but Crystal, she went Ruby too, like within a month. Like she signed up and went Ruby, and it's like 2 months. And so, but if I wouldn't have kept working and working with all those people to make sure that they were getting launched and their downlines were getting launched and their people were all, you know, like knowing what they were supposed to know, it might not have happened. It might not have coordinated right. So just don't plan on, you know, slowing down. Like just plan on, I'm going to get to Diamond, and then I'm just going to go for it and get what this company has to offer, because it is way beyond even that $5,000 bonus, even beyond Diamond. Like there's just so much out there for you guys. So, okay. Do we have questions? Sorry. You guys already have been answering them. Okay. Okay, so do you guys want to talk about maintaining, or do you guys feel like you've answered that already? Do you want to show that video, Stephanie, or is that like?
Yeah, I can, but I feel like yes, it's a good video, and I can put the link on the team page if we don't show it. But let's just like wait a second and see if anybody is brave enough to ask a question, because I'm sure that was a lot of information, especially about like charting and eSpeed and ideas for how to get volume. Like I totally forgot. You're right, Shanna. Like I did a lot of parties in December. We did online parties. I remember doing like with Serena's team, like we did online parties. And I remember specifically like being so nervous to ask one of my really good friends to host a party for me. And the party that she hosted for me, which was like the first couple of days of December, was so like we kind of, sometimes we talk about, or I have teammates who wait until that 5th distributor on your top line to sign up, like your husband or significant other, as kind of your 5th top line box for going Diamond. And I remember I signed up my husband, and then this friend hosted a party for me, and I got like, I'm pretty sure I got all 4 of his like 4 customers, so that so I would get his fast start bonus and his product credit. And I just remember like that basically almost got his box to 400, and that was huge, you know. And if I had not been brave enough to ask her that, I would have not filled that 400 box, and I would not have probably gotten that fast start bonus. Like that was money in my pocket, you know. So be brave, ask.
I remember you calling me after that. Isn't it so funny? It's like it goes so fast. But I remember you calling me after that and being so excited.
Yeah, like I had no idea who would even come to that party. And then like her sister and her sister's roommate and like all these people ended up showing up, and I was like, awesome, you know, and I was so nervous. Anyway, it's funny, like when you put yourself out there, out of your comfort zone. Like I was crazy nervous to do all those things. Like I'm an introvert. It is not in my nature to be like speaking in front of people or asking people for things. And, you know, but if you get outside of your comfort zone, like you will reap the benefits of that. And it's so true. Like just hearing all of this makes me realize like that I need to be doing that more even now. Like I always just need to be pushing myself further and further outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Okay, so Emily just said, I have had a hard time getting people to agree to one. And I think it's just like anything else. I've had people definitely shoot me down cold. Like even my good friends that I thought they're going to do it, you know, because they're my good friends and they would like have some excuse or whatever. But then some people say yes. But what I personally do is just offer them like basically hostess rewards, kind of like any other company would do. You know, if you get 4 orders as a loyal customer orders or something like that, offering them a free product. And then just for hosting, I usually offer a free wrap or a facial just for hosting if 4 people show up or something like that. And so sometimes that might make it easier. I mean, that's what I feel like those people kind of said yes, thinking, oh, you know, I can maybe get a free thing of greens or whatever. Okay, so Andrea said, the majority of my potentials are nowhere near me. And so far, everyone who I'm in contact about hosting a party for me locally has fizzled out. So my belly-to-belly action is not there. I try to blitz every time I go in public, just finding it hard to drum up business. Okay, so the awesome thing about this is now we have what we're on right now. So I still do just as many parties as I did then. I have been averaging 3 parties per week at least, and it's all Zoom. Okay, so make Zoom your new best friend. Make sure that, and also live parties on Facebook. That is something that I really need to get into and get out of my, comfort zone with that. But there's just so many different options now that you don't have to necessarily have somebody host one in their house. So how easy is it to host one on Zoom? I mean, or on Facebook, where it's like you could literally just ask your friends to get a few people on, and all they have to do is get a few people on, and you will, if they order, send them a free product or whatever, or a free facial. So it's like you don't even have to have people get out of their pajamas. So to me, it seems like at least try that out and see if anybody, because whatever I was promoting to, I feel like it was Tribble. They didn't really have this yet, but I asked a lot of people to have Facebook parties for me because I was kind of to the point where I'd asked my local people and, they most likely shot me down, or they had went ahead and already done it. So I didn't really feel like I had a lot of local people left to ask. And so I was trying to find people that were not local to have parties for me. So I had Facebook parties where I would just post in it. And what I actually got the most from those is I just became friends with the people from those events. So I would friend everybody that they had invited to those, and I would follow up with them that way. And I still am getting customers from those just because, like, now they've seen my stuff for so long. So, maybe I got just a couple customers from the actual party, but then by following up with them for so long, just becoming friends with new people, it really helped me that way. And like Serena said, Facebook Live. Okay, so I went live last night for the first time, and I've already had like a few people like come back to me, maybe that I've been talking to about the business, and say, okay, like it's my time. I'm so glad I saw your video. It reminded me that I just need to do this. So definitely start going live. And my next goal, have you guys thought about this? doing a live, I know Brianna and I did it whenever Facebook Live very first came out, but like doing a live just wrap party on your newsfeed, I feel like I want to do it. And I feel kind of psychotic for doing it, but I just really think that's like maybe random people would just see it and want, oh yeah. So yeah, I feel like Facebook Live, getting on the Zoom, and then joining as many new groups as you can. Like I just joined MOPS. Just get more involved wherever you can, meet new people, just like Stephanie was saying, like play dates every single day. Stephanie and I had a play date. That's why she's here, because I asked her to have a play date with me. So play dates are awesome. Join a meetup group that is a hobby of yours. And also, if something's not working very well for you, do something else. When I was going diamond, Facebook got almost nothing for me. Social media just was not what was doing it for me. That's why I did so many parties, because that was what was happening for me. But then social media, kind of like what Stephanie said, like all of a sudden it just started working, like you just started figuring it out. It just started happening because you had been building it up and staying consistent. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, people are ready to like join you because of social media. And that's what happened like the second 2 years of my business. So just like really go with the flow. And if something is not working, do something, like try something else. Don't give up because of that. Like something else will work for sure. Okay. And live is a lot of fun. Tina, you are hilarious. That's the opposite of what I would say. I'm just joking. I love it. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? And we'll just post that link on the page because I want to watch that video too. The video that we're talking about is a girl who she went from ruby to diamond in 1 month. So a lot of you guys could be in that situation. Good job, Gail. Oh, and the other thing is you can try events too. Like I'm doing an event. Like I didn't even realize that you could do this event at my church on Friday. And they just kind of mentioned it, and I'm pretty sure I'm like squeezing myself in there and just like doing it. But I'm really glad that I asked. Like just find places that you can just go and meet new people and just go and do it. And also I'm super busy right now. It's probably the opposite weekend of when I would actually want to be doing an event because we are going constantly, and I'm literally squeezing it in between pretty much everything else that's going on for me. But I'm just so glad I'm just doing it anyway, because, getting in front of more people and handing your information out, getting information from people, that's just where it's at. You have to do it. Yes, I love events too. Okay. All right, guys. Anybody else have anything? Or we have literally 2 more minutes. I'm going to stop it.